Welcome back to Weekend Smile. Education is key, and today we're exploring innovative ways to learn with autism. Mrs. Blagrove, founder of the Montego Bay Autism Center, is here to share some exciting learning exercises that families can incorporate into their daily routines. Mrs. Blagrove, good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. I mean, we are celebrating, World Autism Awareness Month. What inspired you to create the Montego Bay Autism Center?
Well, when I came to visit in Jamaica, 2007, I believe, I noticed that a little girl on the beach had issue coming out of the water because her grandmother wanted her out of the water. And she, they love water. And she didn't want to come out. So I realized that she is autistic, and I asked the grandmother to go to the car, get whatever she likes, because they work over modalities. Whatever they love, that's what they're going to work for. And so she went to the car, got the Disney book. I said, give it to me, and I'm going to read it, and she's going to come out the water. And she's looking at me like I'm speaking French, which if she's not going to come out the water for her, she's not going to come out the water. I'm not going to kidnap the kid. Mm-hmm. And so she went, she got the book. I started to read the book. The girl just ran out the water, and I'm like, what do you want? We were at the Doctor's Cave Beach, by the way. And she wanted her to get dressed, take a shower, get in the car, go home. And so we had to lead her to those steps. But meanwhile, I was holding the book as, take the shower, get dressed, and when you get in the car, then I give you the book. So those steps was important for her to follow through to get the reward, which is her book. Once that happened, not knowing that the parents were from Burma, the mom and the dad was doctors at Corner Regional Hospital for 2 years. And so they had nowhere else to put the kid. And so from when I did that, the parents wanted to find out what did I do, but I was just visiting. And so for 2 hours, I would work with the child.
Yes.
And any child or any student that came through the parents' practice, they were referred to me.
Okay.
And so it ended up to being that every 2 hours I have been seeing children.
And until it...
Back and forth until I made it a non-profit.
And here you are today.
Yeah.
I mean, how does the Montego Bay Autism Center, aim to support children with autism and their families? So you meet with these children, but what else do you do?
Well, the Ministry of Education, especially the unit, partner with us to place children within our center. So we provide speech pathology, parents training, and we also work with individual kids in the early childhood section, information, and so we're able to give them those type of programs for their children. But we work individualized for each child, though, according to the modality. The child on the beach, her modality was Disney. She loves everything Disney. Mm-hmm. So we use that modality to teach her shapes, her numbers, her colors, everything.
Wow, okay. I mean, that's one way to teach them.
Yeah.
But what are some, simple learning exercises that families can incorporate into their routine to support autistic children?
Okay, first you have to find out what are their niche, what they love to do. I know the parents always say, I don't know what they love to do. They're always watching TV, but what is they looking on the TV? So it could be some cartoon that you want. So you could just even use the phone as a reward. So for instance, I have the bubbles. So if you love bubbles, this would be here. Okay, come, let's do the bubbles. Then we want you to do homework, right? So let's do the homework, and I want you to match. And this will tell you how long you stay to finish this project. So once this is finished and you finish matching all of it, you're able to get the bubbles. So it goes on increments. It takes time for the children to finish the task, but they see their reward because they learn in terms of instant gratification.
Okay.
So it doesn't take long for them to do, and you have to break up the homework in increments. You cannot just sit there and do chalk and board. You have to bring it down to their level and take time in terms of whatever their modality is.
Okay. And we have some other activities here. What do we have here?
Well, this is for our nonverbal children who's unable to communicate verbally, but you will speak in this little, we call it a MAC.
Okay.
And
I want toy.
Because he doesn't know how to request toys, he'll press it. We train him how to press this and request whatever it is. So whatever he likes, you record it, he presses it, and he is able to communicate with you.
Okay.
You could do that, or you could have the choice board, whereas you have everything in here that he loves. Beach, church, whatever it is, food, I don't know, road trip with dad, wherever, and he has I want, and he takes it, put it there, and then you give it to him. So he has a choice
board.
Right, and able to communicate exactly what he wants. This is a teething ring. I mean, it looks like a teething ring, but it's a chewy tube where that you see kids that chew on their shirt.
Yes.
And they put, even you see big men, they have the bandana over their head and they start chewing it.
Yes.
It's a sensory mechanism and sensory that they want. So we give this to them and they're able to chew it and get that out of the system while they're focusing doing their work. We could be sitting here shaking our legs and no one would notice it, but that's a sensory mechanism that you're trying to calm yourself. Or your fingers, or you're biting your nails.
Yeah.
All of that, we do it. But for our special needs children, it's so loud and grand that we usually give them a little chewy tube for the oral stimulation.
Okay, and then this is
sensory same way.
Yes.
Sensory same way, because they like the touch, that you could desensitize their skin to tolerate certain texture of the clothing. You notice that once some of our tags in our clothes is no longer tags, it's usually just writing now because of the sensory issue that's going on with our kids. So they take off the tag and they leave the sensory, just the written, so you won't be taking and cutting the tag and all of that.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, so these are just, a few activities to just support or promote actually sensory engagement among the children. This is another as well.
Right.
It's like a squishy toy.
It is a squishy toy, sensory, but it's whatever they gravitate to that you're trying to put in their space for them to do the academic work.
Okay.
Because majority of our children don't want to do the academics. They don't want it. They want to do whatever they want to do. They stay in their little world, but we want to bring them out of their world. And so we have to apply certain things to put in their world so they could learn how to read, write, spell.
And everything. What about everyday activities though, like the meal times? I mean, I know you mentioned like the choice board, for example, but like outings, how can you make that, turn that into learning opportunities as well?
Well, you have to really give them a plan. So it's not like, oh, come, we're going to the beach. You have to give them a plan in terms of a visual, because they learn visually first, more than auditory. So if you're waking up in the morning, you plan to take them to the beach, make sure you have the picture of it, and they learn through routine, consistency, and rote. So if you're consistent with how you're directing the kid or instructing the kid, they will easily follow. So I would have a schedule. So we could turn this into a schedule.
Yeah.
So first, we could do cereal. First, we're going to have the cereal. Then you could have your fruits.
But it's outlined for them.
But it's outlined for them.
And then juice.
And then juice. Or we have breakfast first. Then we're going to go to the beach. Then we're going to go to the park. Then we're going to see grandma. But you have a visual schedule for them, outlining what the activity of the day is. Right? So there's no surprise for them.
Mrs. Blagrove, if anybody is interested in contacting you, getting in touch with the Montego Bay Autism Center, how can we find you?
Well, you could always reach us at Montego Bay Autism Center, that's CENTER @gmail.com, or you could call us at 876-630-7506.
All right, Mrs. Blagrove, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. Founder of the Montego Bay Autism Center, Mrs. Blagrove. We'll soon come back.